What if you had to pick just one knife for your camp box? I realize that in reality you have the luxury of having several knives for different tasks, but for the sake of discussion, we will talk about picking just one knife for the camp box. Before I even proceed, my goal is to give you some information to help you make a decision that works for you and for your needs. I completely realize that there is no such thing as a perfect knife and that they all have their shortcomings and their advantages. So I'm just going to run through these sizes of knives in relation to camping. The first one here is a Little Leatherman style. This is my everyday carry. It just clips on my belt. This is too small for almost every single camp task that you're going to want to do. Too small. Here we have a nice little pocket knife. This is going to be great for cutting cord and things like that, but if you have to pick one knife, you would not want to cut carrots with this. You would not want to do any kind of food prep with this. It's going to be dangerous. It's just too small to dig into any of the meatier tasks. Let's move to the other end of the spectrum. A little bit too out of control for the only knife that you want to have in your camp box. You actually could use this for food prep. The problem is that if you need to sharpen a stick or something like that for marshmallows, the sharp end's up here. The knife is just a little bit too big to kind of bear down anywhere and get any kind of fine work done with it. It's going to get dangerous to use it in that way. So we'll move into the middle here. We have two blades that I think are the absolute perfect length for a one knife situation in a camp box. You have roughly a 4-inch blade. The difference between these two is that this one here is a folder and this one here is a fixed blade. This is a great size of blade, in my opinion, for camping. It's really easy to manipulate for fine tasks. If you need to cut a small cord, if you need to do a little whittling when you sit on the campfire, you can do all of that with this. It's also big enough to bear down. You could cut potatoes and carrots with this. This is my favorite length blade. Do you go with a fixed blade or do you go with a folder? I'm going to go with folder. The reason is to keep the fixed blade on you at all times, you have to have it on your belt. It can be a little bit cumbersome. It can kind of get in the way. If you're walking around in a state park that's fairly busy, maybe you don't want to be the guy who's got the big blade hanging off his belt walking around. And at a family campground, totally understand why you might not want to be that guy. So that's why I think that the like a 4-inch, nice sharp 4-inch folder is going to be your best bet. You can throw this in your pocket. You can have it on you at all times. You can keep it in your backpack, and it locks in place, so it's nice and safe, and it's enough to do everything that you could possibly need to do at your campsite.